Is it working?
It says that we're live and it just got brighter, so maybe it is live. Hey there,
Cool.
friends. Brian.
I'm Erin.
And we're Beach Partners.
That's right. Usually do that. We used to do this on Facebook.
We used to do it on Facebook a whole lot, but now we're just seeing how this. Okay, so it's showing. We're checking the other computer to see if it's actually showing, and the audio works.
Yeah, the audio is good. Cool.
Rock and roll.
Okay, sorry, I was a little distracted.
That's all right. We haven't done this in a while, and this is a brand new looking platform look, I guess,
Fancy.
On the moderator side or the go live side. So yeah, this is going to be a standard sort of live that we're going to do for our patrons, and it's going to be all private in the patron community. But we got to admit, we are brand new to Patreon, the platform. And to give you a little background on why we're using Patreon is because in order to monetize your YouTube channel, you have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time in the last 12 months. And then YouTube allows you to put the little Google ads on the bottom of the YouTube or the page takeovers and all of that. Well, there's also another thing. YouTube can demonetize your channel if you're not really talking about things that they want. So they kind of censor your freedom of speech, and we want to be able to talk about anything that we really want about life, relationships, business online, and stuff that gets too controversial. They'll be like, no, we're not monetizing this video. And then they take that income away from you. Well, as being a Patreon member, we're able to talk freely about anything that we want, and we don't have to worry about being censored.
Yeah. And I think this is a problem that most creatives run into. A lot of creative people don't charge enough for what they're worth. This is super, super normal. And something I learned as a hairstylist is you have to charge what you're worth. You can't just do things for free. So we were really hesitant about Patreon. We were like, should we do it? Should we not? We've already got our tribe membership and we've got affiliate stuff. And then we just heard a whole bunch of other creators who were using Patreon, and they were using it more like a community vibe so people could have access to creators. And we were like, man, that would be a really neat way to give people perks, like send people postcards and do lives like this where we answer people's questions that they have, these burning questions, and that we would be more accessible to them. So like Brian said, we don't yet have a whole bunch of patrons, so we decided to do it over here on our channel because we have a lot of questions that have been coming in lately.
Yeah, so in our YouTube videos, people have been leaving questions and we want to be able to answer them. And Robert Duffield has been asking a ton of questions on our videos. So huge gratitude to you, Robert.
Thank you.
If you're watching right now, we really appreciate it. Also, if you have questions that you want answered live, we see people jumping on, drop them in the comments and let us know because we want to be able to answer your questions live. We're going to be live here for probably about 30 minutes or so, maybe an hour. It really depends on how long you are on here asking questions. We want to be able to give you the most value. And so let's hit the first question from Robert Duffield.
Okay, Robert asked, what happens when you get cranky? Because we're together all the time.
All the time.
It's like, what, like 24 hours a day practically? Except
Since April of 2017.
We haven't been apart for like over 2 years.
Yeah. Which is wonderful. I love it.
It's really
do you
nice.
Like it?
I do like it.
Okay, I like it too.
I do like
making
it.
sure it's not just one of us.
No, it's both of us. But sometimes one of us gets cranky.
Sometimes
it happens.
We're humans.
Normal humans. What happens when we get cranky? I think that for me, I just like to take my space. And Brian usually knows within an instant when I'm cranky. And I usually know within an instant of him getting cranky.
We feel each other's energy. I mean, whenever you're in close encounters with each other, like you begin to learn what the other person is like and what their normal demeanor is, the way that they're normally bubbly or their antics, whatever it is that they're like.
Yeah.
And so as soon as you feel that change or you see it or you hear it or whatever, it's all like, ooh, let me give the other person some space.
Yeah. And
Which is fine.
sometimes it's like one of us is just tired or something. But I think that we give each other space. Often when Brian's cranky, he's hungry. So I'll be like, are you hungry? And then he'll be like, yeah, I'm hungry. So then I know like we need to get this guy some food. But like when we're cranky about something that we're working on or like we don't really get cranky about traveling. But if we're cranky about something we're working on, like we go for a ride on the scooter or we go do something active and just like get out of the space we're in, because some days we'll find ourselves just like crushing the keys and editing videos and just doing business stuff. And like though we're in a really beautiful environment, we might not leave for a couple days, and then we're like, we gotta get out of here.
And what's crazy right now is we're on the little island of Bonaire. And if you don't know where that's at, if you look at the map at South America and then you look on the east side of South America, up towards the top, right across from Venezuela, just a little south of Colombia, there's a little island group there. You've got Aruba to the north, you've got Curacao just south of Aruba, and then you've got the little bitty island of Bonaire just south of that. Now, Bonaire is about 115 square miles. So you can get across the island super, and that's square miles. That's not even like as a crow flies the distance across. So like, for instance, the other day we did a scooter tour of South Bonaire, and it was 14 kilometers around the loop that we went around the bottom edge of Bonaire, where we saw the pink salt flats and all the flamingos and the really cool lighthouse that's been there since the early 1800s. I think it was built in like 1835 or something like that. So that was super, super cool.
And
so
the salt flats, the pink salt flats.
Oh my gosh, that was gorgeous.
We saw flamingos. If you want to see the video, it's up on our channel.
Yeah, it's there in the Bonaire travel YouTube playlist that we have here on the channel.
Yep.
So if you have questions, drop them in the comments here and we will answer them live. We see people jumping on. Welcome. I'm Brian. This is Erin. We're currently in Bonaire and enjoying life here. We'll be here for another month or so.
Yep.
And we've got some really cool adventures coming up, and we're going to learn some really cool things. Should we leak what we're going to be learning?
If you want.
We could. Okay, so the other day in our recent video that came out yesterday, we went on a snorkeling tour to Klein, Bonaire. Now, Klein, Bonaire is Klein in Dutch or German means small, and Bonaire is the name of the island that we're on. And so several years ago, the island of Bonaire bought Klein Bonaire, which is small Bonaire, and we went snorkeling along the coast there. So there's a protected reef system all the way around the island. And our guide, his name is Boy, like B-O-Y. He's from the Netherlands, been here on the island since he was 7 years old. And he's a professional free diver. This guy was diving down and doing demonstrations for us to the depths of like 85 feet and then coming back up on one breath of air. Well, that was pretty freaking cool. So we were like, all right, cool. I would like to learn how to free dive because I've scuba dived since the year 2000.
Yep.
Erin's been on a couple dives. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So we're going to take some free diving lessons and learn how to hold our breath longer, which could be pretty interesting, I think.
Yeah, really interesting. Something, if you guys have been following along the adventures, you'll know that I'm a bit of a chicken. And this whole like snorkeling and like just like being in the ocean and open water, I'm a bit chicken when it comes to that. Like getting me in the water when we were in Galapagos, and a whole bunch of people in our group, well, it was a small group, but the people in our group, most of them were out in the ocean, and we were told there were going to be sharks. And as soon as these people get out there, they're like, oh, a shark, come on. And I was like, what? And I pretty much froze on the edge of the boat, and Brian jumps out of the boat over top of me into the water, and he's swimming over so fast. Next thing you know, the whole group is gone without me, and I'm like, Okay, I guess I'm gonna go see this shark. So I think that like open water and deep water and like swimming into the unknown has been a little bit crazy for me, but it's something that we've been doing a lot of lately. So I've been getting more comfortable with it, and this whole free diving thing and learning how to breathe longer under the water, or not breathe but sustain on one breath, is really fascinating for me, and I think that it would help me become more confident in the water and like all different types of water. So even if we're trying like windsurfing or surfing or just like whitewater rafting and just like other kind of water sports, that it would make me be more comfortable. And the guy that we went to talk with about it, Luis, he said that scuba divers who run out of air on their tank really fast, when they take free diving, it actually helps them use less air, be more calm underwater, and have a more enjoyable experience. So I'm so excited
it's
about
gonna be
this.
super cool.
We're gonna be like meditative and just like really dreamy, because it's been dreamy the past couple times that we've gone. It's been really enjoyable.
So enjoyable. Yeah, like whenever I dive down to like 10 or 20 feet or so, and I'm just like swimming with the fish, and you could feel the pressure of the water around you. It's not like too intense at that depth, but you're just swimming around, just suspended in the water. It's such a magical experience, and there's this calmness that just envelops me. I stopped thinking about all the stuff that goes on in life. Where are we going next? You know, do we need to buy flights? Where are the flights going to? Like this next round of flights that we take, we're still scratching our heads about it because there's not really very many destinations out of Bonaire. But we could fly directly to the Netherlands nonstop.
We go to Amsterdam.
That is that's pretty high up on the list. We might head over to Europe, because I know that once you're in Europe, flying back to Canada or the US is a pretty direct route also. So I don't know. I don't know where we're headed next.
We don't know. We've got a whole bunch of really cool ideas of stuff we want to do coming up, and just like we got to make a decision, but we're kind of last minute on that. Yeah. A
little bit.
Yeah. So another question we have here is, how do you flex when things go sideways? And I think that what he meant by this question is really just like, when things go bad, what do we do? How do we handle it? Like, probably when traveling, I think he might be referring to, but like when we're at the airport or something like that, and a flight gets canceled, or I don't know, we miss a flight. Like, what do we do?
We've missed flights.
Not a lot.
None of that was our fault. Like a lot of times when if we miss a flight, it's because of weather. It's because of airplanes in the sky and they got out of order or whatever. And so that's the only times that we've really missed a flight. And so,
or a flight was delayed, and then we had a connector and we missed the
connector also. Yeah, like that one time in Florida. And then we were just like, oh, let's just do a road trip back.
Yeah, we rented a car.
Yeah.
We've rented cars before to like clean it up, but like we're pretty chill, aren't we? Like, I think that we know, like, hey, we've got time. There's nothing to panic about. If we had to go back to a job or something, and we were like, oh, we have to be back at work today, and we're flying the same day or the next day, and then you don't have an extra day, like, that's kind of crazy. But we usually set ourselves up with ample time, so we're not freaking out about it. So
true. So yeah, just whenever you're traveling, like just be flexible on times. I think that's the biggest thing. On arrival times, on departure times, just make sure that you give yourself enough room, because it's when people start to cut the times close that it's like, oh shoot, now am I gonna make it? And then that adds to the stress versus saying, you know what, I'm gonna get to the airport like 3 hours early, even though they say like for international flights most of the time it's 2 hours early. I'm gonna get there 3 hours early, because sometimes you walk into the airport and you look at the line and you're like, holy smokes. Luckily lately the flights that we've taken have been super fast getting through the airport. And it's because we've been picking times during the week that are during the day, instead of the earlier you are at the airport in the day, and the later you are, the busier the airport is. So if you find times that are closer to the afternoon or whatever, I found that when we're going through security, it's super fast.
So fast.
Like most of the time we get through security, we go to the ticket counter and through security and find our gate in about 15 to 20 minutes. Super, super fast.
That's crazy, usually.
It's totally crazy. Hey, everybody who's watching, let us know where you're watching in from in the comments. We would love to know. And this live is directed to any questions that you have. We are here to answer them. Like, let's say you want to know how we do laundry. We'll answer that question. If you want to know how do we travel with kitchen knives, we'll answer those questions. If you want to know if we travel with a sewing kit, like there's certain questions that people ask that they're like, well, how do you know when to do laundry? It's like, well, when everything stinks, right?
Yeah.
But no, like,
or how many pairs of underwear do you travel
pack?
with?
Yeah. Like that's what this live is for, is to answer your questions live. We've got a list of questions that people have been asking in our YouTube videos and then also on our Facebook page. And so we'll be answering those questions faux show. But if you've got a question and you're here live, drop us a comment of what question you have about anything. It could be about business too. Like, hey, how did you get started with business online? What is the first steps to starting an online business? Or, hey, I've never traveled outside of the US or Canada. What are the steps needed in order to make it happen smoothly? Or even, how do you guys find places to stay? Like, this is what we're here for right now. You are here live watching for a reason. Ask your question in the comment. We will love to interact with you. Yes. Okay, speaking of questions, we have a whole list of them, and we won't answer these questions unless you have a question that you ask live. So that is top priority right here. The chat box is how you ask them. Yeah. Drop a comment and let us know, and we will check them out.
Darn tootin'.
In the meantime,
how do you balance relationships, careers, travel, and fun?
This one also came from Robert Duffield. Thank you so much for interacting on our videos. We totally appreciate it because this gives us stuff to talk about here in the live. It also gives us content to produce for like fun videos. Yep.
And we'll probably still make videos on all of these questions. But this is a good question because I've got to admit, when it comes to balancing relationships, careers, travel, and having fun, we're not always good at it. Oh my gosh, we're getting questions. We haven't been seeing it over here.
Okay, so on the moderator, top chat, let's do live chat. Holy smokes, we have a ton of questions. We are so sorry.
They updated the platform.
Okay, so let's start at the top. All right, Patrick, we're going to get back to Robert's question, but let's see what Patrick. Go on with your dreams. It will happen. Thank you, Patrick.
Nice to see you, Patrick.
For watching. And we did receive a message from you on Facebook. I have not had a chance to look at it yet. Patrick says, cool watching you live while working, just rushing to get things done before our vacation to Ecuador again. Awesome. Hey, Patrick, are you going to Ecuador Freedom Bike Rental again? Are you doing the Jeep again, or are you going to do something off the grid? What are you doing? We'd love to know. Fully understand since my wife and I are working together too. That's awesome, Patrick. What sort of things do y'all do together? 88 Trips. What's up, brother? How are you doing? What does he say?
Okay. What do you think of YouTubers like Boram, Preteen YT? Just bought an $800,000 house. Is that $8 million?
It might be $8 million.
I don't know.
Let's see how many.
I don't have my glasses on.
Yeah, $8 million
house. $8 million house with parents. Hope for older types. I want to make enough to buy a new camera. Okay, so I don't know exactly who that YouTuber
I don't know who that is.
I don't know.
But we can answer that question because that is a common question about what do we think about YouTubers who are over who are super young and have all this cash because they started YouTube super early and they just gained a following because people like their content. They like how quirky they are, funny they are, dramatic they are. But here's the thing, like whenever it comes to building a business online with YouTube, it is a process. Like people are looking at these overnight successes like, holy smokes, these people have millions of viewers. They also or subscribers also. And now they're just like, all this cash is just flowing in. Well, it flows in for a reason, because they got started and it took years for that to happen in most cases. Now there's some anomalies out there where people start a YouTube channel and within a year they've got, 100,000 subscribers or 500,000. That's few and far between. And what did they do in life before then that maybe they already had a following on another channel? Maybe they had a Twitter following or an Instagram following, and then they just started their YouTube channel. When it comes to the money that they earn, I feel like they have the right to do with that with whatever they want. Like,
if they're too young to really like understand or grasp the concept of how much money they have, hopefully they have good parents behind their back who can help them like nestle some of that money away or most of that money away. And then they like give them an allowance or something. But I figure like if you make that money, you can do with it what you want. Just hopefully you have good people around you who are helping you take care of the money, and like maybe it helps their whole family out. I don't know.
And it's a great goal to have 88 trips to want to make enough to buy a new camera. Like that's part of the journey. You've got your YouTube channel.
We started with our phones.
We did. Our iPhones. This is what we started with. This phone.
Horizontal orientation, friends.
When you're doing
always
it horizontal. Unless you're doing
IGTV
IGTV
or something, but
so
this is
it's totally possible to buy a new camera and earn money from your videos, but it does take a long time to get monetized, which is 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time in the last 12 months, and then it takes about a month to 2 months for it to be approved. So make sure that when you go to your channel settings that you set your monetization up already and you already have an AdSense account connected to their YouTube, because there's 4 green dots there. You can have 3 checked off without being qualified, and then the last one you can have set to automatically push you up to the YouTube team to get monetized. Also with that, with your content, be sure that you're offering products and services like affiliate products and services that you use. Don't offer things that you don't use and you don't believe in.
You gotta believe in it.
Definitely got to believe in it.
People
awesome
will
comment,
sniff that
88
out
trips.
for a mile if you don't believe in it. I like this question from Patrick. He said, talk about editing video. How long does it take you to produce 30 minutes of video?
In the beginning, it was a real long time. Now it's still a real long time. And I think because we're getting better at editing, and so the techniques that we're using are more time intensive. I think we're more picky. Like I really care about what music goes with the music. Brian does too. But like this, I'm just going to talk about my personal editing style. Like I really care about how everything flows together and that it tells a good story and that it's interesting. And some videos end up being longer than others. Like the video I just finished that will be out tomorrow morning at like 10 a.m.
Eastern. That video specifically took me like probably 12 hours to edit, but like the first few hours I couldn't get in the zone because I couldn't find the right song. Like I put a song over B-roll and over us talking and stuff, and it just like all the song would go wrong. Like the song would be like really like cool at the beginning, and the next thing you know it's like
they do some shift in the music.
Like, I can't even use the song anymore. Like I liked the beginning of it. So sometimes that happens and things will catch you up, but I mean, videos can take anywhere from like 3 hours to 12 hours.
It really depends on how you're editing it. If you are editing a lot of B-roll in, it's going to take longer. If you've got a lot of music shifts in it that sync up with the beats of your footage, it's going to take longer. If you're using like speed ramping where you start a clip slow, then it goes fast and then it goes slow, it takes a little time to adjust the settings and to listen to the audio and watch your wave format.
Multiple cameras takes longer.
Multiple cameras. Sometimes we have 3 cameras that we're cutting in between different angles and stuff.
Yeah.
But if you want to get just like a solid number of how long it takes per minute of finished video, we average between 1 hour to 2 hours per finished minute. So if you're looking at a video that's 10 minutes long, you're looking at anything between 10 hours and 20 hours for that one video. It can be long, but the product is so much better and it looks so much better versus just trying to throw it together sloppy and people bounce and they don't go and continue watching your stuff because it doesn't look that great. Yeah. So, it's learned. It's something definitely that's learned. Go ahead.
And we self-learned mostly. Yeah. Brian's brother taught us some really cool stuff, but like before he existed in our video editing world, like we were totally self-taught. And then when we started using Adobe Premiere, then Brian's brother, he films documentaries and stuff, he taught us like the gist of Premiere, and then from there we've been learning it ourselves after that. Yeah. Another thing that takes a really long time is scrubbing through clips. That takes a really long time. So if we're like scrubbing through old stuff in the archives and we're like, where is that clip where we were in Nicaragua 2 years ago? Like that takes a while to go find that stuff.
But we're getting better with like file management and everything so that we can find by country, by city, by date a lot quicker. So that really helps. So Patrick, we hope that answers your question. It looks like 88 Trips. Love that question as well. Oh, my mom's on here.
Hey,
hi, Mom.
Good
How's
to
it
see
going?
you.
All right, Clinton Clark says, Erin, you aren't chicken. You are cautiously adventurous.
Thanks, Clinton. It's nice to see people who are actually on here. We could see like numbers popping up, but nobody commenting. And we're so thrilled that people are commenting.
So there's a thing that you could put top chat versus live chat. Well, we didn't have the live chat on for some reason. I didn't select it, but I changed it. And then all of a sudden they all came back.
Patrick asked if we were recording this. This will be on our channel.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we'll keep this one live for everyone on the channel.
From Montreal.
So we've got watching in from Texas, from Montreal or Montreal. I don't know. Montreal. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Patrick also has another question. Do you still have any possessions back home or did you sell everything? I sold my house. I sold my truck, my RV, everything inside of it. I've got a couple suitcases at my dad's house in the attic. That has just like winter clothes and stuff that I just don't really use, but I could fit it all. Probably I could carry it all in my arms. It's not much. Probably. Mostly. Yeah.
I kept a few things. I sold a house. And then I got rid of a lot of stuff. I gave a lot of stuff away, the stuff that I didn't sell, which was great. But there's a few things that I'm storing at my parents' place. Thank goodness for them letting me keep some stuff there. But like the more that I think that we're away from our stuff, the more we're like, what do we really need there? Like I'm still kind of hung up on my juicer and my food dehydrator. Like kitchen gadgets, I'm kind of like, oh, I've got a really nice knife there. But yeah, most of it's gone. It's gone.
So my mom asked, what kitchen items do you take? So I like to say that we travel with a spice cabinet. So in my carry-on bag, my Osprey Sojourn 45 liter, we have all sorts of salt. So like Himalayan salt or sea salt, depends on what we can get a hold of. We have a pepper grinder that we travel with. Curry, chili powder, paprika.
Cinnamon.
Definitely cinnamon.
Bay leaves.
Yeah.
Bay leaves are sometimes hard to find, so it's nice to have bay leaves always.
Yeah. And then we've had these cutting boards that are like flexible. They're probably about like 1.5 feet by a foot. They're super thin and flexible. We've been traveling with 2 of those because some of the places that we go don't have good cutting boards. The place that we're at right now here in Bonaire has great cutting boards, but we still use our little thin ones because they've got a non-skid surface on the back and we can just plop it down and get cutting pretty quickly. A new addition to our kitchen supplies that we take we're taking full-size knives with us now, which means that we have to pack one bag at least, or check one bag at least on the airplane, because you cannot carry knives on an airplane. Do not do it. You will get it taken away from you.
Don't do that.
So that is what we're taking for kitchen gadgets. But now we can actually take a lot more dangerous things with us because we're checking that one bag at least. But our bags are all carry-on, and for the last 2 years, since April of 2017, we've been just carrying on everything, and occasionally checking. If they're all like, hey, do you want to check your bag? We'll do it for free. We're like, here, you carry our bag. Sure.
We really just got the knives recently because we're so particular, and we're like, man, it'd be nice to just have a knife. And like, if we can check our bags, we do, because it makes life easy. But our bag is really easy to roll around at the airport now. Our backpacks, they go up in the overhead compartment on the airplane. It's very nice. What else we got here?
Patrick says that he's renting the bike. Awesome.
Cool.
I think we are going to go back to Freedom Bike Rental, and I think we're going to do one of the trips again, but on a moto. Probably one moto, and we'll just ride together on it. So we'll get one of their bigger enduro BMWs or whatever.
At that time when we went with Ecuador Freedom Bike Rentals on the road trip in the Jeep, I was not yet comfortable to be on a motorcycle for that long. Like, we'd only cruised around on a motorcycle on Ometepe, and that was the only other time I'd been on a two-wheel bike. Other than that, I'd been on lots of ATVs and snowmobiles and stuff, but I'd never been on a two-wheeler. So I was like, other than riding a bicycle, it's a lot different, a lot more speed. So I was a little bit nervous, and then they were like, oh, you can have the Jeep. So we took the Jeep because we had a lot of gear and stuff. But I think now, after having this scooter, I'm like really into the open air thing. Although like, I know some of the mountains we rode through in Ecuador were really cold, and we were happy to have the windows up.
So if you haven't seen the road trip that we did through Ecuador, it ended up being 10 days long with Ecuador Freedom Bike Rental. That was so much fun. And we actually have a playlist. So if you go to Be Adventure Partners YouTube channel, click playlist and find the one that says the 10-day road trip, you can watch those videos there. It's pretty cool. Pad Crew 6 family vlog. Welcome. What's up, guys? Nice to see you. I'm at work, so I can't interact much here, but excited to listen. Gratitude to you. Thanks for coming and hanging out. Let's see. Tech Worldwide says, okay, and what about collaboration rules in YouTube?
Collaboration rules.
We might have to read further down. I don't see anything else by you. Can you let me know what you mean about collaboration rules in YouTube? Expound on that just a little bit, because as far as I know, you're allowed to collaborate with other creators. Are you talking about collaboration with businesses for sponsorships and stuff like that?
Oh, maybe.
And how you disclose that to your viewers? Because anytime that we have, like that, I think that's an important angle to go at with this. When you collaborate with a business who is giving you a service, or they're paying you, or they're giving you swag or something to like review, you've got to disclose that on your channel somehow, and that is a Federal Trade Commission rule. And so there's a couple ways of doing that. You can visually put it on your screen for a minimum of about 10 seconds or so at the very beginning, saying, hey, this video is sponsored, or you could verbally say it,
which is the easiest way, I think, to say it, and then have like something slide out with their name on it.
And then also put it in the description of the video. So we actually disclose the 3 different ways. We say it at least once in the video, thanking the provider. Like, for instance, Freedom Bike Rental. This video is not sponsored by anyone at all, but I'm going to give you a real example. So for Ecuador Freedom Bike Rental, we went on the 10-day excursion with them. And so in every video, we said, hey, thanks for sponsoring this excursion. We also had their logo pop up on the screen. And then we also agreed to put links to their business in our description. And we said that this video is sponsored by them. So it's better to be safe than sorry and disclose it multiple different ways, because if someone has their sound off and you didn't close caption your video and you didn't have a visual slide in, then someone who's just reading or someone who has their sound off may not hear that or see it. So we close caption also. Just put it in several different conspicuous spots where people can easily see that you're promoting that for some reason or another.
Yeah, it's always good to cover your tail. You don't have to share what your working relationship is with that company or like what your sponsor deal is.
Yeah, what
or
they
whatever.
gave you or...
No. You don't have to say that. You just say like, this video is brought to you by blah, 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 or sponsored by, or today we partnered with. And there's just different ways that you can bring it up that feel natural. Do it in a way that feels natural to you. But yeah, when you're doing some kind of a collaboration with a company, just be transparent. People want to know that. I don't think that it turns people off of watching your video at all. I think if you're really open and honest about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
What else we got?
Patrick says, thanks for the answer. Gee, that is now a real full-time job. Less interesting for someone like me who does not have all that free time.
Sounds like you're working towards it though.
But Patrick, here's the thing. That's where like growing a team, and once you're able to afford paying someone to edit your videos for you, that's where that comes in, where you now are in the position where you're just going on adventures. You upload the footage to them or send them a hard drive, and then they put that together for you. Like, that's a position that a lot of creators want to get to. That's not a position where we want to go yet, because we enjoy putting our own creative
flair
into creating our videos and editing them. So I wouldn't call it a job per se, because I don't have a boss telling me that I have to do it. I'm my boss. She's my boss. I'm her boss. We're our bosses. And so, but we're like
a collaborative.
Yeah, we are a collaborative. Yeah. A collective, if you will.
He always gets me with the collective thing.
So she once had this. No, I won't say that.
My original business was called Meowza Empowerment Collective. If we all want to have a laugh together, it was quite the name.
Yeah. So Patrick, whenever it comes to going on your bike adventures that you do, start collecting footage. Just because you don't produce videos for it yet doesn't mean that, like, get footage of all of that horizontally, because that's the direction YouTube goes. Because you can start uploading that at some point whenever you know, maybe you don't produce 3 films a week like we do. Maybe it's 1 a week or 1 every 2 weeks. You know, it could be something that you integrate into your adventures, because we know that you go on a ton of adventures.
Yeah, you do.
And you're super, super adventurous, you and your adventure partner too. So that's totally cool. Yeah. So that's just part of the being a vlogger, though. Like, if you think about some of these vloggers who do daily vlogs and they're just cut like crazy, they either, one, have a team who's cutting the videos for them, or 2, they're not doing like the best job at cutting and they're just slapping stuff together to get the volume out there. And some people like more of the raw look. We like ours to be just a little bit more polished, but not perfect, because I don't believe that anything should be perfect. There's no such thing as like, oh, that was perfect, because there's always something that you could do better. There's always a better camera. There's always a better mic situation. Or, oh, if we only had a film crew following us, then we wouldn't have to hold the cameras in front of us and have that view of like the arm in the picture sort of thing. But I think that's part of the fun of it. I really enjoy that, though.
Yeah, I think like when you're just getting started on YouTube, to just put the videos together. Like, originally I was cutting videos with iMovie. You were cutting videos on iMovie too, right?
Yeah, she taught me how to use iMovie.
Yeah. Of all people teaching anybody something, it was me teaching him how to use iMovie. And the videos were fine. There's free music that you can get on YouTube that's authorized, licensed to use, or whatever those terms are for licensing music. They were okay to use in videos. So that was the music that I was using cutting videos. And they were kind of vloggy. Like, looking back at them now, we had no idea we were producing vlogs, but start with something easy like iMovie. There's like editing software you can put on your phone. I think, what's that one? Adobe Spark?
Adobe Premiere Rush is
Rush.
Adobe Premiere's Creative Suite's smaller version that works on your phone and also a tablet.
Yep.
And it's a lot simpler. It's dumbed down, but it lacks a lot of features that we use, like cutting out audio and splicing in some audios. But there's workarounds for all of that that we've seen.
And if you have decent footage of stuff, like, it's gonna look good together. And it's better that you produce something and start practicing and start just like getting your stuff out there, your work, your message, whatever it is that you want to share with the world. Just put it out there, because if you feel like you have something to share and you really want to go this angle in this direction with your life, you just got to get started. Like, don't hesitate because you're like, oh, this is going to take me too much time. Like, just get going with it because you want to and you're passionate about it. And in the few free hours of the day, like, who cares if a video takes you a whole month to cut? If it's something that you're really excited about, traveling or cooking or doing something creative, share it with the world, because that's important. We're all gifted something in our life. So whatever gift it is that you have, why not share it? If you want to, you may as well.
Exactly. It's fun to do also. I think that like where a lot of people start then stop real quickly is that they produce 10 videos or they produce 20 videos and they're getting like 2 views or 3 views. Like, that can, like, you spend all this time putting it together and it's like, why does nobody want to watch my videos? Like, I think that's a normal human thing, but like for every channel creator, I'm going to say like 99% of channel creators, like, it is a slow process initially, but there's certain things that you can do starting out to have your videos shown more organically on YouTube, like having a title that is indicative of what is going to be shown in that video, having a description in the first couple lines that gives enough information that someone just going down the feed will see that title and description that they'll want to click on it, and then having a thumbnail image that's the static image that you see whenever you're scrolling through the YouTube homepage or your YouTube feed, and having a thumbnail that grabs people's attention, that's nice and crispy, vibrant colors, or is branded to you in some way, and it has a consistent look. So if someone goes to your channel page and looks at your videos, you've got a consistent look of all your videos. Those are the first few things that people see. Over and beyond that, having your channel tags optimized for the content that you're producing, having every video have its specific tags optimized for the content that's in the video, and then also having your videos captioned, either captioning them yourself or sending it to a service like Rev. We use Rev to caption our videos. That all helps the Google and YouTube search engines to serve your content higher so that people can find it organically. Now, there's a lot that goes into optimizing your videos for views and stuff like that, and we can get into that on other videos. But like, just know that if creating YouTube videos is something that you've always dreamed about, but something's holding you up, maybe it's the video editing. We didn't know what we were doing when we got started, but guess what? We got started.
You can learn it.
We found someone who was willing to teach us how to do it, and so we got on a call with my brother, just like Erin was saying, and in 2 hours he taught us how to use Premiere. So what we ended up doing was we had him create little class sections within our tribe membership, which it's called Get Your Video On. And it's basically everything that he taught us. He's got little videos that are super concise, and it's now like only like an hour and a half long of content, but it'll like get you started with, okay, how do I edit? Premiere looks daunting. Well, it doesn't have to be. And so we have that in there. And so it's all about learning something and continuing to evolve, because once you learn something, then you can learn something else, and you can learn something else, and it all stacks upon itself.
I think with like anything, like if you want to do it just know that you can learn it. It just takes time. Sometimes it takes a little bit of money to pay for a course, or sometimes you can be self-taught and you can go look up videos and read blogs till your eyes pop out of your head. You can do all those things. But if you believe that you can learn something, that is what propels you. That like hunger to learn, to know, like, okay, I don't know how to do this now, but this is the end result I want. So what do I need to do in between to learn the thing that I want to do? You can always learn. So don't cut yourself off from it. Like, there's a way for us to learn how to take less time editing videos. So now that we know the style that we like, we can learn how to dial back the amount of time that it takes to be more efficient.
Yeah, so some of the stuff that we've been doing is learning the shortcut keys on the keyboard to press to do stuff like ripple delete. I was like, what the heck is ripple delete?
Vocals breaking up. Is everyone having trouble with our audio? Let us know. Let us know
in the comments. But yeah, you can learn stuff. It's just part of the learning experience.
They like the spice hack.
One more
That's
thing
helpful.
about spice hack. We don't carry too many powders at once if we're carrying on.
Maybe it was just the microphone falling out of the back.
Maybe.
Thank you.
Awesome. And also we don't carry any powders that are white. Like white pepper, we don't carry white pepper.
We already use white pepper.
We don't, but
we love rainbow pepper.
But like, no, we don't carry baking soda or baking powder or anything like that. So that's also a tip. So just in case you were wondering, we don't do that. 88 trips. How much longer are you traveling in the South world?
Oh gosh.
Meaning south of the equator. Are we south of the equator right now?
I think we
might be north of the equator.
We might be slightly above it.
Yeah. I don't know. We're equatorial right now anyway. We're on the bulge of the earth right now.
It's hot enough to definitely be on the equator right now.
Yeah. We're here in Bonaire for another month, another 4 weeks or so on this beautiful little island.
We know that for sure.
Yeah. Other than that, we're not really too sure of where we're going next. It's up in the air. I posted on my Facebook profile the other day. Hey, here it was a picture of all the pins of where we've been. Just a Google Map screenshot that I took. And I was like, "Here's where we've been. Where should we go?" And I think one of the top recommendations was Asia and India, which is also in the Asia area. And then also one place in Russia and one place in the south of Hawaii, the Finn something Islands.
Oh, yeah.
Finney Island or something like that.
I had never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
It looks like a donut, but like a really skinny donut. Like there's just like a skinny little rim and a massive water in the center. Middle.
So it's almost like a volcano came up but didn't come up too high, so it's got the crater still filled in, and then the ridge of the volcano is like where people live. So
looks wild.
That looks pretty interesting.
I don't even know how you get there. It's a crazy adventure.
There was someone who said that they went there on a yacht or something from Hawaii when going across the Pacific. So who knows?
Oh, this is a good question. Pad Crew 6 family vlog.
What's up?
We would love to do what y'all are doing with our vlog channel with our family of 6. Any suggestions? Okay, so you guys are already vlogging by the sounds of it.
Ta-da!
How cool is that?
Super cool.
6
Yeah.
people in your family. It's amazing.
So what's some cool tips?
Okay, so you're already filming. That's awesome. Yep. Do you guys have like a business model? What do you mean you like to do what we're doing? You want to travel full time with your family, and you want to know the financial aspect of how you sustain your family? Let us know maybe a little more detail on that. But first of all, for us, our goal was to be making like enough money that we were like, okay, we can go take the leap. We weren't making a lot of money, but we were making enough money that we were like, okay, it's time. Let's go for this. And then also that allowed us to be together because I'm from Canada and Brian is from the States. So for us to be together full time, like it was either like spend 6 months in Canada, spend 6 months in the States and keep flip-flopping back and forth, or why not do what we actually want to do, which is go travel and be in beautiful places and work from wherever we want and have an awesome view, and try to make this thing happen.
Mhm.
So what you need to do that is a product or an offer, and to set yourself up online. But we could go really deep into that. Like that's like a long conversation.
Yeah, but I think some more, just a couple more hot tips that I just thought about just right out of the gate is like, what is your family vlog about? Why would someone want to watch it?
Yeah.
What are they getting from it? What are you? So
what's your goal with it?
What's the goal with it? Also like think about, why would someone continue watching it? Are you doing things like family adventures? Are you going to like local parks, and whenever I say parks, I'm talking about like state park type deals that are bigger, more outdoorsy adventures? Are you going to the playground and talking about, different things games that you could do on jungle gyms? Like what sort of draw would other families of 6 or other large families or even small families with children? I'm not sure what your children's ages are, but that's something to think about also, is like, what are you doing on the channel that's going to make people want to watch through your videos or through part of your videos and start being part of the community and regular viewers on your videos?
Yep.
So
Good
figure
questions.
out what that is, because then you can start creating content around different types of family adventures or different, like maybe it's because it says Pad Crew 6 family vlog. It could be a family cooking vlog where like you go and make these awesome meals as a family together, and the kids are on the counter with the hand mixer and stuff's going all over the place. But that's how large families are. Like I remember growing up, I had 6 siblings, and when mealtime came, it was like all elbows and knees to get in there and get that Frito chicken casserole that was so good that my mom would make, or get the biggest, fluffiest slice of bread after you spent, an hour grinding the wheat. True story, right, Mom?
She is here.
Or going to the garden and, grabbing some vegetables and stuff to chop up. Like, those were crazy times. And, to have that documented would be like totally
so
cool.
nice.
And the kids would love that in the future. And then people who are also watching your channel will be like, holy smokes, these are real people here really raising their family. And it's done in a rough way where you can actually get the kids all small video cameras that they can do their own POV, so point of view, because when we're
imagine
filming,
all the different heights, how cool that would be.
When we're filming as adults and we're standing up, a lot of times what I've seen vloggers do is they have a down angle to the children, which doesn't give them the human aspect of where they are at in their lives. So by bringing your view down when you're filming your children, where you're eye to eye with them, it makes them more of a stronger human presence. And people like to see the equality that children have even amongst the adults' lives, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I think from a kid's perspective, seeing a kid handhold the camera is just like so cute and so sweet. So you know what, another thing to do for anybody getting started with YouTube is go out there and find channels that you really love. Like maybe you're already watching those channels, maybe you need to seek out more channels that you're like, that's the vibe that I'm going for. You want to get in there and start to do some research and then just write out a list of your values. What do you value? Like for us, we really value the environment and not leaving a huge footprint. We also value our time together. So being able to teach others how to have more time together is really important. How to get your life back and not feel like you're slaving away to something just so that you can make enough money to take a 2-week vacation in a year. Like those things are really important to us and part of our value system. So that's something that we bring into our channel. And also just like a lot of love. We love having fun and being goofy. So write out a list of things that are really important to your family or whoever it is listening to this that wants to build the YouTube channel, because a channel with a message and a mission that is clear is way more impactful than a channel that doesn't have a mission and a message.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Another thing to think about is that besides raising, you're either raising 6 kids or you've got 4 kids and you're counting both of you as adults as being part of the crew of 6. Something to think about is like your own relationship with each other as adults, as husband and wife, or partners in crime, or however, as adventure partners, like however you want to view that relationship. The relationship is just not only about the humans that you've produced, it's also about the connection that you have with each other. And so being able to bring that into the mix and show the relationship value that you have and how you take care of each other emotionally and, throughout life is a beautiful thing that other parents who also feel like, oh my gosh, I've had all these kids, now my life is being run by those kids and I'm now their slaves because I've got to feed them. I have to like show up constantly for them. Whenever they're crying, like, it's like, oh, come to me. Like, it's like, oh my gosh, are they now running my life? Wait, I'm the adult here. So like having that balance and building the values of the children up for relationships and how to create those tighter bonds, like that could be super impactful. We'll give you one channel that you could check out. Schmoyer Movies. Schmovies.
4 kids, 2 adults, 3 dogs, 3 cats. Woo! I work so much that I don't get time for them. So that is a really impactful part of your story. And if you want to do something like us, being really open and honest with your audience while you're vlogging, like, hey, our life is tough right now and these are our goals. How many other people out there do you think with a huge family like that are so sick and tired of slaving away at a job just so that they can make enough money to support their family and they don't get any time with their kids? Like, that message I just got goosebumps. That message will impact a lot of people who are in the same situation as you. So if you can be really honest, really clear with your audience about where you're at right now, but also the goal of where you're going, people are going to beat that drum and they're going to want to hang out with you because of what you're doing. And I'm sure you're trying to find ways around it. Like, how can we do things for lower costs together so that we can still have fun and have that quality time? So maybe we can save up money so we can get out of these jobs faster. Like, those kinds of things would be really valuable to other families who are looking to do the same thing.
And it may not be traveling full time like us. It may be just like having more time to be able to spend with the family instead of having to go away to a job. Like, obviously there's still going to be work that you get to do, like edit videos, like that takes time, but that's something that you could do from the house, or you could do from the backyard, or you could do like we're here in Bonaire right now. This is where we're sitting right here, but here's our view. There's our scooter that we've been scooting around on. And this is our view right now here in Bonaire. And we've got a pool around the corner right over there.
If you see us looking off to the sides, there's like lizards and iguanas. Like, it's like just like a lizard iguana highway and like all these amazing birds blasting through. This morning, I rolled a grape out onto the patio to our blue and brown-tailed friend. And he went and caught the grape and then ran off into the bushes with it. It was amazing.
Yeah. So 88 Trips said, oh, he's got to go. What? Hey, great to see you, brother.
So
Thanks for showing up. But 88 Trips is using KindMaster, a $5 per month video editing program. It's inexpensive. to edit on the computer using that program.
Awesome
Another one we
share.
recommend, it might be more expensive, but it's a one-time purchase, is Camtasia. That's what I used on the Mac before Adobe Premiere. Now I'm going to say, it costs several $100s to get, but it has a lot of different features that you can produce really cool videos with. However, if I'm to recommend one program, it is Adobe Premiere Pro CC. That is what the industry uses for creating movies. It's one of the two major programs for that, commercials on TV and stuff like that. It could be as complicated as you want, or using like checking out Get Your Video On e-course that we offer for the tribe. We show you how to use it super simply.
And you can use a lot of tools in the Adobe suite for business, like Photoshop, InDesign for making ebooks, banners, stuff like that. It's nice.
Yeah, we use InDesign for clients for print ads for magazines and newspapers, along with like Google Display Network ads. We use InDesign for creating those as well. My mom says that the vocals are better. That's great.
Thank you.
Thanks. Must be the breeze. And those were sweet stories, right? Like it was like Animal House back then. It was just crazy back when I was a kid. So much going on. That's constantly so cool. Traveling through Europe as a child in the trailer with the big blue van and everything.
Oh, they're already subbed to Schmovies.
Oh, cool.
Oh, can you, Tolman?
What's up, Tolman YouTubers?
Hey, Tolman.
Well, yeah, leave us a comment.
We always like to meet new friends. Do you think Fode is cute?
We've got no idea what Fode is. Yeah.
Oh.
But Bonaire, what's up, Luis? Bonaire Free Diving School.
This is the guy we're gonna take free diving with.
Oh my gosh! So when we went snorkeling a few days ago, we went with this with Crebe Water Sport on that adventure. They had sponsored the adventure and everything, and we filmed it and did all sorts of fun stuff with them. Well, one of the guide there, his name is Boy from the Netherlands. He was doing this free diving. He was doing an exhibit of his skills and blowing circle bubbles and swimming through them and stuff. Check out the video that we posted yesterday, and you'll actually see his skills. It was pretty cool. Well, after we went a snorkel tour with him, he said, dude, if you guys really want to learn to free dive, because I was diving down with him to probably no deeper than about 20 feet or so. But he was like, man, if you guys want to learn free diving, you've got to learn with Bonaire Freediving School here on Bonaire. And it's Luis Fonseca. And so we're excited. We got to meet Luis just a couple days ago while the sun was setting on the west side of the island. It was absolutely beautiful. Yeah, he did. It was nice. It was really cool. But he's such a free spirit, so cool. And so we get to go learn from him and take his freediving course. So we're super excited about that. So that's going to be on Monday that we get to go do that.
Cool. Oh, Fode is a lizard.
Yes. The lizards are cute here.
They're so cute, really beautiful. If you notice in our videos lately, we keep posting little funny clips of them. We had an iguana hop up on this side table right here and ate our basil plant. The iguana was huge, big green one, ate our basil plant right in front of us, and then was like looking at us in the eye. Look at this. It's just starting to come back to life. He ate all the leaves.
The leaves were huge on this. Like we were using it for cooking and everything, but he ate all the leaves. But he left the nice thick stems, and you could tell that the leaves are coming back. So that's good.
So we're happy to keep growing this basil plant for him because I would love to just see him hang out on our table again.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of people saying that they watch. How cool is that?
Welcome, everyone. Hey,
Thanks,
if anybody
guys.
has questions, leave them in the comments about traveling full-time, about not traveling full-time and you wish you could, and how could you, online business, whatever you want to chat about. We're here for probably a few more minutes. And welcome everybody who is on the live stream. So this stream is normally going to be for patrons only. At the beginning of the stream, we talked about how we started our own Patreon community. And right now, like literally we just started it recently. So we've got one patron right now. but we plan on having more. And so if you want to check out our Patreon page, there is the link right there, and you can check that out. And we've got it set up where patrons get perks for different tiers. Like one of the tiers, several of the tiers get a postcard sent by us with a unique message and
our
own
photo
that we shot from wherever we're at on our adventures. So if you want to be a patron and be part of this this is going to be a private stream, but we decided, my mom said, hey, why don't you do this publicly for this first one? And I was like, okay, we'll do it.
Because his mom's our patron.
Yeah, she was our first. So thank you, Mom. Yeah. I really appreciate you. We both
appreciate you.
Yeah.
It's nice to have you.
Yeah. Yep. So are there any other questions that we have? We've been going for just over an hour.
My friend Fode Uncle Terry says, my friend Fode loves your streams. Keep up the great work, guys. Thanks.
Thanks, Uncle Terry.
Super nice.
Thanks for being here. We appreciate it. Irish Sweats, I guess. Irish Sweats. Sounds like a workout channel or something.
Yeah.
Welcome. So sweet. I know you will get more. Thank
you. Thanks. All right. Is there any more questions?
Did we have any more?
There are a few more on here.
Let's go to that last one.
Okay. Any tips for getting started with traveling more?
So this was a question from Robert Duffield. Robert, you asked a ton of questions recently on our vlogs on the YouTube channel in the descriptions. Thank you so much.
Gratitude.
Participation in the comments is how we create more content. Yeah. So the more questions that we have on our normal vlogs, the more videos we'll create around those topics, and we can tailor like the business videos and then the travel videos, because we like to go on adventures and travels. We've been traveling full time since April of 2017, but only in the past about year or so. Actually, it was a year this month that we started actually using YouTube. And so we've been to several countries before we even started filming them, like professionally, I guess you want to say it. Semi-pro. It's like semi-pro. And so now we've been working on building up the YouTube channel because our Facebook business page had over 11,000 followers on it. And that was main focus. But we felt like, you know what, we need to show these adventures that we're going on, these beautiful places. Yeah. And so that's why we're here doing that. And so we created the Patreon community so that we can help fund the videos, because the videos take a long time to produce. Yeah. And we want to make sure that we produce content that you're wanting, that you want to watch. And so that's where the Patreon comes in as well. Yeah, because the goal is to help you. Like our goal with our business and just with Be Adventure Partners, the message as a whole is to help people create this type of lifestyle, or whatever type of lifestyle that you want, that has more freedom, more flexibility, whatever your definition of that is. That's what we want to help others do. So the more questions that come in, the more that we can help you. And yeah, that's really the whole idea behind it. Yeah. Pad Crew 6 Family Blog says, I'm so glad to meet y'all, and we will keep in touch. Thank you so much for your answers. Gratitude to you, Pad Crew. Thank you. We love having you around. That's awesome. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for asking your questions. You had great questions, and we loved answering them. Hopefully you got something, and everybody else got something from that question as well. Let's wrap this up with the last question from Robert Duffield. Any tips for just getting started with traveling more? Have a passport that's valid. That's really number important. One. That's if you want to do international travel. Now, if you want to do local travel in your own country, you don't need a passport. But if you want to travel to other countries, or potentially travel to other countries, maybe you want to travel locally first and you're like, oh, I'm not going to go to any other countries. Get a passport. Yeah. Just get the passport. Normally they're valid for 10 years or something like that. Get the long one. Pay the extra to get the long one. That's definitely worth it. I would say go slow. Go slow, like Keycocker Belize. So they had this slogan on Keycocker is "Go slow, man." Go slow, man. That's probably the biggest one, because
if you get to a country and you just blast through it and you try to hit all the tourist sites and do all the things, you're going to be exhausted.
And you're missing a lot of the country.
You're missing the culture of the country, I think, in a great way. So something that we really like to do, and you may not have this much time, but nestle into a place as long as you can. Instead of trying to see all the things, go make a list of like a few of the things that you want to see and do a big adventure like every other day. Like if you only have 2 weeks, do a big adventure every couple days. Don't be on the move and going to a new city, a new hotel, a new everything every day, because you lose time traveling. You lose time in a car, in a plane, in a bus. If you're taking public transit, you lose a lot of time. So go as slow as you possibly can. You can always go back to a country, but just like I think something that we learned with cruising, and this isn't like saying that going on cruises is bad, because it's like a super luxurious experience, but it's not a way to like really see a country. Like you get a really minute sampling of a country, but you don't see a country or feel a country and what it's all about, the vibe, who the people are, what the culture is, what the landscape is really like when you just like get a sniff of it off the side of a boat. So if you have the ability to go slow and take your time in a place, that's really seeing a country.
Yeah. So, that's such a beautiful thing to be able to go somewhere and really experience like the people and the culture and getting to know some of the people who natively live there. That's been really, really huge for me. And being able to like we stay primarily in Airbnbs because it's not like on resort. It's not in a hotel. It's not in a manufactured place that's like cookie cutter to all the other places that are like that. Now I'm going to say going to a resort is fun and there's a place for that. Staying in a hotel is great. There's a place for that. We do stay in hotels occasionally, and we do go to a resort every once in a while. Like not very often, but it's doable, right? And so, but there's a place for all of that. But like for just living life, like people ask us, "Oh, how long are you on vacation for?" We're like, we're living life. That's what we're doing. And so, it's the position that we put ourselves into that we step outside of our comfort zone to be able to do something like this. And it was learning the skills to create the business online that is, so the travel ends up being the byproduct of that. And so now we just need our Wi-Fi connection wherever we go. And sometimes we don't have a good Wi-Fi connection. Like when we were in Mazunte, Mexico, the Wi-Fi connection was so bad for 3 weeks because we already booked the place that we were staying. And they're like, yeah, we have Wi-Fi. We're like, all right, perfect. And we get there and it wasn't fast enough to like upload videos or do Facebook Lives or anything like that. So
asking for a speed test on your Airbnb, like if you are working while you're traveling, ask for a speed test, speedtest.net. I always send them over the Airbnb message before we even book. That's really
and
helpful.
Telling them to send us the upload and download speed results. Because if you say, hey, what's your speed? They'll give you one number normally. And that's download for like streaming movies or whatever. But the upload one is just as important, if not more important, especially when you are uploading videos. So like when we were on Galapagos, our upload speed was like 0.02 to 0.1. Like it fluctuated. So to upload a 15-minute video was taking around 10 hours to upload a 15-minute video.
It was crazy.
Like it was wild.
So
have
a bag with wheels.
Bag with wheels.
A bag with wheels is nice. We have really enjoyed the Osprey Sojourn. We made a video on that. If you check that video out, this bag has been amazing. Seriously, it's been so nice. We rarely even have to ever put it on our backs anymore. But it's nice because it's a small size, so we can carry it on. When we've needed to pull out the straps and throw it on our bags or our backs, it's really easy to do that. but it's
super
been
strong,
super durable. It's taken such a beating. And we've had them for probably about 8 months now.
We got them in December, I think.
Almost 8 months.
Yeah. So those have been super nice. And we got a YouTube video on it, Erin said. So if you just, if you Google Be Adventure Partners Osprey Sojourn 45 liter, or just Google Osprey Sojourn 45L, our video actually will come up because it's the #1 video on YouTube for Osprey Sojourn. So
surprise us.
Yeah, totally cool.
Yep. What else? I think like using Airbnb has been really great. Sniffing around for like flights and stuff before you just like impulse buy a flight, and like plan out your trip.
Yeah.
The more direct a trip, the better. So you don't have to like run through an airport, and just like give yourself as much time as you can on travel days.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to have a day where you miss a flight. Like having a layover that is more than an hour is usually really good idea.
Definitely. Yeah. And something that I've been thinking about lately about, hey, thanks so much, Patrick. We really appreciate you. Thanks for showing up, brother.
We totally got to meet up.
Yeah, definitely on one of these adventures. So something that I've been thinking about lately is our next leg of this journey is going to be a lot of hop, skips, and jumps. We're not sure where we're going yet, but I've already started looking at flights. We're thinking about like to go from Bonaire to anywhere. Normally you have to stop in Curacao, or you have to stop in Aruba. So we're thinking like maybe we'll go to do one leg, stay a week, and then do the next leg, stay a week. So buy a multi-city ticket that leaves at different times so that we can experience the different places along the route, because it'll be the same cost as just doing it all in one day where you're just hopping through them all. And then that way you don't run the risk of missing your flight, your connection. And you don't have to worry about, oh, I've got a 24-hour travel day. Like when we came from Galapagos to Bonaire, we had to go from Galapagos. It was about 26 hours total. But we went from Galapagos to Quito, from Quito, Ecuador to Panama City, Panama, from Panama City, Panama to Williamstead, Curacao, from Curacao to Bonaire. And we had a layover that was 8 hours long in Panama City. So we ended up staying at a hotel to get 6 hours of sleep.
Which was kind of bananas.
Yeah.
But like you can definitely plan your trip out in a way that you're not going to be stressed out. And the more time that you give yourself, the better. And just like every time you get on a plane, I know a lot of people freak out about getting on planes, or they get stressed out about going through customs and stuff. But something that I always like to think about is just like the miracle of flying. Like we're in this big, heavy object, all these people, hundreds of people sitting in this big, heavy thing that is going to launch itself up into the air and take us from one spot to the next, which is amazing. So
think about it. Have you been able to like launch yourself in the air and go to 30,000 feet unassisted? Not without a plane.
Probably not.
Yep. So, or a hot air balloon.
So just being grateful and like thinking about it that way. But yeah, I'll try to think of more travel tips when you're first getting started. Don't take too much stuff. Don't overpack. Yeah. Like most of the stuff that we originally were traveling with, we've like given away. And now we have hardly anything in our bags.
Yeah. I can remember when we left for Belize back in April of 2017. Oh my gosh. I had 15 shirts, 3 pairs of shorts, 2 pairs of jeans, like a pair of jeans and a pair of pants.
You had a light and dark pair of jeans, I think.
2 pairs of jeans, light, dark. 12 pairs of socks. I had 14 pairs of boxer shorts.
The big ones too.
Yeah, the big fluffy ones. Like 3 workout shorts, workout shoes. Like I was like, I want to be able to like carry all this and not have to do laundry for 2 weeks. I think if we could do it for 2 weeks between, you know, finding places to do laundry, that would be great. Now it's completely different. The majority of my bag is cooking spices.
We've still got like a good amount of underwear. I have more bathing suits than anything, probably. But yeah, I think just like pack light. You don't need all the things you think you need.
Yeah. So Patrick says that his wife is an overpacker, but getting better with every trip. It's all about getting better and packing lighter, especially doing motorcycle trips. You only have so much saddlebag space and your top bag on the back of your wheel. Oh my gosh. Well, this has been a ton of fun.
Yeah. I'm so glad we figured out how to use these comments because it's been so cool seeing everybody. Pad Crew 6, Patrick, Sherry. Always good to see you, girl.
Uncle Terry, Irish Sweats.
Yeah. Bonaire freediving. We can't wait to go
Bonaire freediving. We're so excited.
Tolman and your friend Devin. ADA Trips. Good to see ya.
My
Tech
mom.
World. Yeah.
Hi, Mom.
Hey, girl. Yeah. This has been so much fun. Thanks to everyone who showed up and asked questions and just hung out. It's been really cool. We'll have to do this again. We know for sure we'll be doing this again in our Patreon community. We're going to be doing it once a month. We just did this one over here because we thought it'd be really fun.
Yeah. But if you want a live over here, let us know in the comments here or in a comment on the on any of our videos. Because if this becomes a popular thing and people want us to just chat, we can do that. And we'll still do our private one in the Patreon group in a more intimate setting. Because I've been on some lives here on YouTube where there's hundreds of people watching and there's so many questions flying by that people who are giving the live have a hard time answering the questions. And so that's why we're going to keep the Patreon community one intimate so that the patrons will get that. But if we do a live here and you enjoy this sort of thing, maybe we'll be in a different location every time, you know, or have a different camera angle. Be like, oh, this one's in this camera angle or that camera angle.
All right. So thank you so much, everyone who showed up.
We appreciate you.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
And thanks for watching Be Adventure Partners videos. If you haven't, subscribe and hit the bell to be notified every single time that we put out a brand new video just for you on travel adventures, online business, mindset, personal development, and living life on your terms.
Yeah, and share this video with a friend if you think it could help them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So until next time, friends.
Adventure on.
Adventure on. Bye everybody.
See you.
Thanks for showing up. We appreciate all of y'all.
Lots of love.
Bye.
Bye. Did we do it?